Hi everyone, it's Rita. I'm an Akashic record reader and accessor, and today I started reading a book on subtle energies a while ago. I hadn't read it all the way through. It's by Cindy Dale. It's amazing. I'm being guided today. The message for humanity for this week is to remember that you are energy. 97.7% energy is what I'm told. So when you can truly understand that you are energy, vibration, frequency, all those things, then you can start a healing journey if that's where you are, or a remembering journey, or even, a journey of self-discovery to create something. Because the more that we understand that we're energy and frequency, we can do anything, and we don't cease to exist, right? So 8 years ago today, my mom took her last breath in front of me. And I watched two little tears roll out of her eyes as she took her last breath. And my angels had kept me up all night. I was in the hospital. I got guided to put some music on. There were these beautiful Tibetan chants that I had brought back with me from South Africa that a friend had given me, and she said she had felt a soul connection to them. And I got guided to read her some sermons, and from my cousins, her partner, is a minister, and so I read some of these beautiful sermons to my mom. She really wanted to hear them. And then I was going to put on a piece of music. I started to put on a piece of music that was Patricia Cota-Robles. Look her up if you don't know her. She's amazing. She's been channeling the company of heaven for a number of decades. And her son, who committed suicide, worked through a musician to channel a piece of music to him that they use in St. Jude's Hospital. It's very healing. So I went to put that music on, and I saw the Tibetan chants. And as soon as I turned those on, I watched her oxygen levels and everything just slowly decline. I was able to still keep a connection with my mother. I still have a connection with her now. And I just wrote about all this because I'm writing a book for the film that we're producing called The Revelation of You. And in that film, we explore the auric fields of the body, around the body, and the changes that happened when we brought crystals in and mementos and dried pieces of vortex wood and sun and vibration and sound, and we looked at all these different changes. And I don't really exactly know all of them, but you'll hear beautiful interpretations by the aura reader that is part of this project, who's been with us for 2 decades, or been doing readings for over 20 years. And one of the things that we show in there is a before and after aura photo of me asking for an energetic hug from my mother, because when I asked for that, she gave me that gift a number of years ago when I really wanted a hug. I could feel the outer layer of my body tingle a certain way that's different than when I feel an intuitive knowing or a connection with spirit. And so I can just ask for that now, which is really beautiful. And I'm very, very, very appreciative. But I know these are things we all can do. And I trust that's what's going to come out of this film. And the book kind of ponders all of these things. And I'm going to include photos and descriptions. And we'll be doing some crowdfunding, in the next month or so. We've got some great scientists that are well known that are going to be contributing to the film, which will be nice. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't as well known, and I think maybe with reading some of this book, the Subtle Energy book, and even talking about Cindy Dale's work, you'll get to know other people out there that are, exploring the body from an energetic perspective with different healing techniques. I mean, we knew a lot of these techniques, right? Hundreds and thousands of years ago, because we didn't have allopathic medicine, and that's another story about how that came about. Because when I started reading this Subtle Energy book, I learned that at the universities, the medical schools at Harvard and Yale, we were using magnets because we knew that the body had ions moving around it. And I'm going to read some of this now to you, which is a message for humanity. It's to remember that you are energy. You are energetic beings. But we used magnets at that time to get the ions and the energy fields flowing correctly. That's what the Chi masters in China were doing. And in India with the chakras, getting the chakras balanced. So magnets are huge. And the implication around some of this is there's a huge drive in the world to go to electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. But you're sitting on a battery. And so you have to learn how to muscle test and ask your higher self, is this a good vehicle for me? Is this a good situation, a home that's got all this, you know, electromagnetic frequency in it? Or being in an area where the geomagnetic fields are blocked, which are the earth energy that we need to connect with. And you'll see that in, over a decade ago, I think, is when the documentary and the book came out around grounding. And I got grounding mats. I was kind of drawn to that, and sheets, grounding sheets. I actually let my mother, I bought stuff for her to use. We were into all this stuff. So she's an incredible soul, and she's supporting my journey now. So I'm going to read some excerpts from this, and this is a video you might want to save, and then I'll do one more where I read the entire section, and then you'll have it. So this begins magnetism. Oh, and I'm going to tell you, in the film, with one of the participants, one of the volunteers, we did before and after auric pictures, and we saged with Palo Santo, and you see those changes, and you see with the crystals and things. But I got guided to bring a magnet and put it above her head and at her heart, you know, standing beside her. And as I was standing there, I asked my guides, this is what I do healing work, give this person what they need. So we took the photo, and in the photo, you'll see my hand, even though my hand is here, the energy of it is closer to her head. And there's another concept that I really want you if this is the only video you watch, I want you to listen to this. Becker discovered that his system transmitted information through the membranes of the glial cells, G-L-I-A-L cells. Glial cells are traditionally considered part of the support system for the nerves and the central nervous system. There are about 10 to 50 times as many glial cells in the brain as there are neurons, which number approximately 100 billion. So there are 10 to 50 times as many glial cells as neurons, and neurons amount to 100 billion. And this is in the brain. So when you start thinking about meditation and how we connect, and Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about bringing up the cerebral spinal fluid to kind of ping the transmitter, in our head, but think about it. As you bring that energy up into the head, and you've got all these cells, these glial cells, more than neurons. I mean, start thinking about the frequency and the energy that you really start connecting into, that's connected all around the body. So it says, traditional science asserts that the glial cells do not conduct electricity. Becker's work challenges this thinking. He found that the glial membranes actually fluctuate in electrical charge and voltage. In fact, Becker determined that the voltage change can be produced by an application of external energy fields, especially magnetic ones. Aligning, all living beings are bathed in a background of magnetic field that resonates at 7.8 cycles per second, an oscillation comparable to the alpha-theta brain state. As we saw in part 2, we have magnetic detecting material in our brains. The human direct current system, DC system, perhaps in relation to some of these magnetic detecting materials, enables each of us to pick up on the geomagnetic frequencies of our surroundings, which in turn stimulates the alpha-theta brainwaves. I'm going to leave you with that, but I'm going to read this little section again and do a separate recording, because on TikTok I have 10 minutes. So much love to you. Message for humanity is to remember that your energy, 97.7% energy. This is 2.3%. That's why my mother's still with me.